Welcome to Arkansas Music Showcase. We are Scott and
Amanda Elliott. This is the podcast where we dive deep into the heart of Arkansas's vibrant music scene.
welcome to the show and enjoy the ride. Are you dreaming of building something from the ground up? Look no further than J.R. Shellnut Construction, your one-stop shop for all your construction needs. From dirt to concrete and all the way to erecting your dream building, J.R. Shellnut Construction, LLC has got you covered. We're not just builders, we're your partner in creating spaces that last. But what sets us apart? We're a faith-based company where integrity, quality, and community are at the heart of everything we do. With J.R. Shellnut Construction, you're not just getting a contractor, you're gaining a team that believes in the power of faith and hard work. So whether it's a new home, a commercial space, or something entirely unique, J.R. Shellnut Construction LLC is ready to take your project from vision to reality. Call us today or visit our website to get started. Let's build something beautiful together. J.R. Shellnut Construction LLC, building more than just structures, building trust and community. Well, welcome to the podcast. My name is Joseph Scott Elliott, and here today we are with OnceErased. What's up, gentlemen?
Howdy.
Welcome to the podcast. Glad y'all are here today.
You guys both say howdy.
Did you say howdy?
It's country, man. Look, it's
Arkansas Music Showcase. What are you saying howdy here?
howdy.
Yeah, we roll, man.
How's your mama now? Well, these guys, let's see. Let me read your bio. It started in September of 2023. That's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Heavy rock inspired by everything from punk, metal, soul, and everything in between. Releases include 3 singles and a combined EP. And you guys are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and everywhere else music is streamed. So y'all are out there for people to consume.
Yes.
All right. So I was going to go around and let you introduce yourselves and just tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name's Justin Cox. I am vocalist for the band, and I'm actually a barber in Saline County here. Run a barber shop in Bryant called Levi. Shameless plug there, Levi Lyman Barber Company. No shame. Yeah. And vocalist now and having a good time.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, I'm Tacker. I'm the drummer, AV guy, equipment supplier. I go to Justin to get G'd up.
Yeah, that's right. Does a good job.
No, it's the best barber I've ever, as they're saying, shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
No, I just play drums, and write and record and all the fun stuff. So
Yeah, gotcha, man. So this guy over here.
Andrew Tam. I'm Justin's brother-in-law.
Yep.
I married a sister, and he still accepts me today.
So you
not without a few jokes and
Not without a few jokes, mostly from Tacker.
100%.
But I play bass in the band, and born in Arkansas, grew up here, and this is my home county. Grew up in Saline County.
You
Yeah.
grew up in Slick County.
Yeah.
Is everybody from here?
I grew up in West Monroe, Louisiana.
Gotcha.
So
You got up here so quick, though.
right after high school, like the year after I graduated, followed my mom up here. Her and my stepdad moved here, and I didn't go straight to college, so I decided to come up to Arkansas. I grew up coming to Arkansas every summer to hang out with my cousin for summer, so I was already kind of familiar with Little Rock, and they lived in Maumelle, so I would come up here for summers and hang out. And I always loved Arkansas.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity came to move here, I was like, I did it, and lived here for about 10 years, and then I moved to California for 12 years, and been back here for 4 years now. So
Glad to be back.
I'm glad to be back. Yeah, I'm a Southern boy. Grew up in Louisiana, so back to my roots. It's good to be back.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Some nice sunsets over
It's
there.
beautiful. We lived in Ventura, a little beach town in Southern California. Perfect weather year round. I do miss the beach. We were very close to the beach.
Don't miss the
Having
rent.
access. I don't miss the rent. No, it was. But no, it's good to be back here. All my family lives here, and it's good just being able to hang out with Andrew all the time now.
Yeah. Start a band and rock out and work and cut.
Yep.
Chop domes and rock. And
That's
rock
right.
domes, huh?
That's right. Shop domes and rock domes. I like it. That's a good slogan.
Tacker, where you from, bro?
Oak Grove,
Oak Grove.
Smoke Groves.
That's the most.
It was rough. I went to Oak Grove in the 90s.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Some stories there, I bet.
Oh, it's none available for this podcast. I'm not allowed to tell my kids stories either about my growing up at all.
Right. I guarantee, like, there's a lot of stories I would never tell my kids. For sure. So Oak Grove, that's like between
North Little Rock and Morgan.
North Little Rock and Morgan. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So there used to be an old club out there. Back in the day, there was on that road going out.
Lockwoods.
What was this old dude?
No, you're talking about the country. I
was like 19 years old. I'm 47 now. We used to go play there. They had bands there all the time. What was the name of that place? It was in Oak Grove. I mean, it just triggered it when you said it. And they would host quite a few bands. I will think up for.
There was a bar right on 365.
Yeah.
If you're coming like from Morgan, it's on the right.
Well, this wasn't a bar. This just allowed like underage bands to play. It was
Old Man Kirk's.
Old Man Kirk's. That's it right there. That's right.
You'd
Old
be
Man
shocked at the amount of bands that came through Old Man Kirk's
Oh,
that are like
man.
huge.
Did you ever play there? Did you play there back then? Who were you with it?
I've got video of me playing there. It's
Guy
hilarious.
we had the dreads.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, dreads?
No, it wasn't dreads, but I
braids.
always braided my hair. Like I had long hair and I braided it. I
Gotcha.
wanted to be Zach De La Roque from Rage Against the Machine in the worst way. Mix him and Jonathan Davis, and that was my deal.
Yeah. Rage Against the Corn.
Yeah.
So what band were you in then?
Martyr.
Martyr.
Yeah.
I was in a band called Harsh Reality.
Old Man Kirk's. You remember it had the big airplane?
Yes, dude. They had the whole, everybody could go outside, hang out, front porch thing there, and then inside, everybody packed in. It was cool.
It
It was cool. There was a lot more of that stuff back then that had underage places where you could play.
Dude, that's the whole thing. So I grew up a very angry kid, right? So football, mosh pits. That's
Loved mozzarella.
that's where my, I got to be.
Dude, mosh pits were the best. We'd sit back, me and my buddies would sit back, because we're all like, everybody was 6'2", 6'3", 200 pounds, like just athletes or whatever. And so we loved metal. And so we'd go to these shows and we'd sit back and we'd wait, find the bully.
Yeah.
We called it Find the Bully.
Find the Bully.
We're not going in the pit until we find the bully. And then when we find the bully, we're gonna take him out, and then we'll have the respect for the whole pit, and then we'll control the pit. And it worked every time.
We used to have a policy where we would find, because that's why historically I love Vino's for the fact that
Vino's was greatness.
I've been going to Vino's since I was like 14 years old.
Just roll in there,
Like
have a drink,
living
beer around you.
sacrifice.
Yes, living sacrifice. Benign. You remember Benign? They were, and then you had several like really good heavy bands back then. That
Scream.
Yeah, it had some. There was a bunch of them. Killjoy. There was Killjoy, and that was and there, just those were just some good times. There's a lot of amazing bands would come through Vino's, like in the I guess mid '90s. Mid '90s for me was my biggest time there.
That was the place.
Yeah,
And so you would go and be able to get that aggression out. But what we would do is we'd find a bully. And so me and my buddy Carl, so we would because, we weren't biggest dudes.
right. You can tag team somebody.
No. So we'd follow him, start circle pit going and be like, da, 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 da.
Everybody jump in on him.
He's on the ground and
Yeah.
we're just skipping around in the circle pit.
What's up now?
And he has
Try to hurt
no
somebody
idea
else.
what happened.
Push that chick again.
Dude, I tell you what gets me today is they do something called crowd killing. Have you heard of this? Okay. So say, the mosh pit is its own entity, right? It's
Right.
going crazy and everything like that. However, if you are a spectator around the rim, you have to pretend like you're in a boxing match and be ready for somebody to actively try to punch you in the face, swinging their arms or kicking. Literally, it's like,
Oh, so that's the arm flailing.
yeah,
and
no,
the leg
but
kicking?
but that goes on, and we used to call it straight edge dancing back
Straight
in the day.
edge, triple X.
But this is a whole nother thing. This is where they're actively they're windmilling their arms coming at you
Intentionally trying
intentionally. It's called crowd killing, and I was like, this is awful. I was like, but is it okay if I collapse one of these dudes? You know what I mean? It's like
Probably not. They probably get the feelings hurt.
yeah, if I lay you down, are we gonna have an issue afterwards? But that's why I was like, I learned about this within the last probably 6 months.
Well, I've seen them doing that. I thought it was called like slam dancing or something like that, when people were flailing their arms around, their legs around. We just got in there and jumped as high, and hard as we could, and just elbows and just laying on each other, pushing each other around. You didn't push anybody with your hands. You just use this, try to get it in the ribs a little bit, just
It's
wake them up.
it's more and less aggressive at this point. You know what I mean? Like, because you bobbing and weaving, but like back in our day, I mean, it was like full contact, like as hard as I can hit you.
Yeah,
But we were all kind of confined.
yeah.
So you have to use a lot of your lower body and pick up and stuff. But now it's like it's more open. Mm-hmm. But I like seeing the walls.
That's what I asked you. What's it like now? Like, what's it like now? Y'all play a show. There's a lot of people there. You see, is there ever a pit?
We're not that.
We are. So y'all are more melodic. I wouldn't call it melodic. You're heavy, but I don't want to start naming bands that it kind of reminded me of. But it had that. I did think about like the early 2000s. Like the metalcore kind of more.
Without
more
the
flow.
instrument proficiency.
Right, but you're flowing. I mean, it's like Deftones. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'll just say right now, it's kind of like it had that. There's not a super skilled play there. There's just amazing riffs with that kind of tone and that kind of flow. Which I love. I love a lot.
Huge Deftones fan.
Yeah.
I think the newest single that's going to come out next month is going to be the best description I heard. Like real Chevelle vibes to it.
Okay.
Like, and I love Chevelle, so I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Happy. Yeah.
New single coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of the single?
All you really need, but when you see it, you're gonna say Aaron, A-Y. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an acronym.
ARYN.
Yeah.
AYRN.
A-Y-R-N.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Aaron, ARYN, but it's all you really need.
Yeah.
AYRN.
Yeah. AYRN. Yeah. All you really need.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's just
And so it's dropping on every platform. You have a date yet?
the 27th of June.
Couple of weeks out.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Is that final or is that just
That's because we're
Yeah, we got to keep
committed?
It's queued up.
It's queued up, committed?
Yeah.
Okay. 27th of June,
Right before our show.
yeah, which is the 28th of June.
Yeah.
20th of June. And you said it's an EP or just a single?
Just single.
Just a single. Got it. Okay.
So we're working toward a full length. So there's a couple of things in the mix. So one is going to be a full length, 12-inch vinyl. That's just us. And then there's talks about us doing a split vinyl with another group too. That will be
Well, that's kind of cool.
it's
We'll talk about that. So most everybody does the waterfall effects now, where you release one every 4 to 6 weeks, and then you build that up, and then when you get your 10 or 12, whatever you prefer, I did 8. Then you have an album, and then you release the album is in full after you've released all these singles. Are y'all doing it that way, or are you going to release a few and then drop the album?
So it's kind of like this. We think we're going to use the Even in Arcadia drop that Sleep Token did. So the album release date is so and so, and then they have a list of whatever 10, 11 tracks. That's track 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then they fill one in, and then they fill one in, and then they fill one in, and then,
Oh, that's kind of cool.
yeah, and then they drop 6. Because the thing I hate about the waterfall release is like I have downloaded this song 7 times now. You know what I mean? It's like now I've got to go back and delete the old versions because I've got so many of the same song because it was single. Then you release the EP that had all of those on it plus one, and they've done that, and then they release it as a whole collection.
Never heard anybody bring that point up, but it does. It is a good point because when I released my first single, and now the first single is on there twice when the album dropped. Because I just dropped one single and then dropped the album. So now the first single is on there when the album drops.
Yeah.
You can pull the single and let them only go to the album to get it, but you've already
And that takes away from all the views for
right.
that
You got
track.
yeah. You have all that stuff.
Still using
You
that.
keep it all together.
Oh, you know what? I had a guest on here, Susan. She was telling me that now they've got it where when you do it like this, they fix that problem. I remember it now. It's coming in mind that you do it you do the album, and maybe this is the Arcadian thing you're talking about. Then you release and it counts towards the album, and it doesn't count towards the single.
Yeah.
So that's it. Okay, yeah. That's the new thing.
And it was a cool deal because you see it's like, okay, this song's come out, and this song comes out, this song. You're like, oh man, they're releasing a lot of songs fairly quick. Okay, this is great. And then the night before the release, I just saw because we were talking about that style of release, and I pulled it up. And the night before it released, and they finally had all the song names, and I was like, oh hey, it all changed.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. All right, so let's dig in. Let's dig in a little bit. Let's talk about how the band was created.
Yeah.
Born out of a midlife crisis is
Born out of a midlife crisis.
So I took about an 18-year break from music in general. So I was a bass player, wild, thin, flipping on stage, jumping off the stage while I'm playing, getting thrown back on the stage, all of those sorts of things. And that was, because I would say I was a funk and soul bass player playing rock and roll because I didn't know anybody who played funk and soul. So I always found rock and roll kind of boring on bass. So I was very active, I'm running around, flipping, spinning the bass, all crazy stuff. And then, so I had to stop. Kids, I've got 4 kids. So
I'll do it. Marriage, kids, work.
had to shut it down, got rid of the gear. And then my 2 big kids are now gone out of the house. And I was like, I wonder if I still would like to play drums. Because I played drums for a year and a half with this guy 20 years ago.
Wow.
So I was never a drummer. I just tried my hand at it or whatever. So I never really played. So I'm gonna get a kit. Let's see what happens. So I get the kit. I start playing. I wish I could show you a before and after, like how it started versus how it's going. So we had a little kit, and now I have a kit that takes up a 8 by 6.5 footprint. So anyway, so playing
So what I'm
drums.
saying, it is club efficient. It's on demand.
It's racked, so I can get it off stage in 4 minutes.
Right, it's so fast.
Now, did you get your drum kit before you came to the shop to get a haircut and we started talking music, or was that?
I think I started. So he got back to Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna reconnect with this guy. I see he's back, so I reach out and I'm like, I need a haircut. I hadn't had a haircut since COVID, like 3 years without. Like my hair was down to here.
COVID hair.
Yeah, it was long, and it wasn't a good long either. It was like you obviously didn't take care of this. Know what I mean?
Not well groomed is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yes.
So I go and get my hair cut or whatever, and we're chatting or whatever. I pick up a drum set. I'm like, hey, dude, do you want to drop to Conway, like maybe once a month, write some music or something? And he was like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. So we got together. He had already had some stuff going, that he'd had in his back pocket, and so we just started playing, just he and I.
Yep.
And then I never had.
So that was that 2022?
No, 23.
That was in 23.
Was it 23? Yeah, yes.
March of 23.
Yes.
Because I got the kit in February.
Okay, yeah.
And then we started messing around in March of 23, just he and I.
So do you play an instrument too?
Yeah, I play guitar as well.
So, okay, so you play guitar and sing. So y'all were just jamming, electric guitar, small key,
Guitar and drums.
guitar, drums, and you just
Had a
work-
few
work
songs,
out.
like he said, in my back pocket, and went over to his house and was like, here's what I got, and he's kind of dusting off cobwebs, trying to, reteach himself drums, essentially.
Yeah.
And we were just both kind of just seeing where we could pick up. And
Had no intentions of playing live. No.
yeah, it was all just for fun, like
jamming.
just 2 buddies jamming, getting together,
And
and
they were developing.
it's like anything.
So we all the first 2, and then who came next?
Well, so here's how it goes.
Yeah.
Here's the timeline is I see a friend of mine's band play, and I see what their drummer did or whatever. And I was like, I've always been like, nobody wants to see me play drums, right? Like, I'm like always super self-conscious. You see Whiplash, Terrence Fletcher lives in my head, not my tempo.
Yeah.
Are you rushing or are you dragging? All that lives in my head. So I'm there and I'm like, this dude can do that in public. I'm gonna be just fine. So then I started thinking, well, maybe we could do something live. And so there's this thing called Band Mix. Mm-hmm. What is it like? I don't want to say it's like Tinder for musicians,
It kind of is.
but it's like yeah. So anyway, so it's like I got on there and was like, hey, I'm a drummer. I play bass, play guitar, whatever, blah blah blah. Here's my availability, anything. So a guy reached out to me. His name's Aaron. And he was like, yeah, man, we're looking to do a little something. I was like, all right, come. He lived in Conway, so he came to the house. So we messed around. I was like, it'd be all right. And he's like, well, I got this other guy, Michael Riddle, that I'm kind of working with. And because he was talking about doing a cover band, and I've never been about a cover band.
It's not my life. I play some cover songs, but it's not my life.
I don't want to do it.
It's not for everybody. God bless all you guys out there that go out there and work the scene. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for being in the background while I'm eating. And
They get paid though.
They get paid. The bright side of it. Yeah, they're getting paid. We're not. Yeah.
I've just only ever cared about originals, right? Like,
Right, same.
If I'm gonna think somebody's really awesome, you can get up there and play Jimi Hendrix just like Jimmy did, but I'm gonna be like, Jimmy wrote that. That's a whole nother level. It's a different thing. So I'm like, all right. So he was like, yeah, we'll do some. Cause like, man, I'm really not interested in cover band. Want to do originals. So he was like, well, this guy Michael's got some originals. He's like, I'll put it in touch, right?
What did Michael play?
Guitar.
And what did the other guy play?
bass.
Bass.
So I talked to him and I'm like, hey man, I got these stuff, guys, and he sent me the file. Aaron sent me the file. And I was like, dude, this is good. Like Michael wrote these. I was like, it was basically a finished song. He programmed drums to and everything. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this is really good. So I was like, man.
Did they need a singer?
Yeah, like it was just drums.
Well, I think before
He wrote the song, but was there vocals to him, or was
No,
it just, it was
just
only instruments?
instrumental.
Yeah.
yeah, I think when you met up with them, I wasn't even in the mix on that
No.
at that point. We were still
So
that's
that was
kind
the
of
very beginning before y'all started doing it. Yeah.
That was separate. So he and I were messing around, and
Yeah.
this came after that. And then I was like, hey, man,
yeah.
what do you think about, like, if you like it, if you dig it, and they're down with it, why don't you come and we'll play some music. And that's how it started in September. I think it was September 23rd of
23.
Yeah.
So you're not even 2 years old yet.
No.
No, and
Yeah.
with Michael coming in, he and I had very similar taste and similar writing approaches, and so it was like just a no brainer.
So your words started falling in with what he was writing.
Man,
like
he
was
sent,
writing,
he
y'all
sent
writing
this dude a
together
file. And within an hour, we had recorded vocals back.
on top
Yeah.
of it, just
Yeah.
within an hour.
yeah,
And I'm like,
that's the beauty of technology now. Like we can just send files to each other
Yeah.
instead of having to go to practice and try to hope you remember what
Right.
you played. And
Right.
so yeah,
It's a huge deal.
What song was that? Are we still playing it?
yeah.
yeah, the vowels.
That was the vowel.
The vowel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was if you could hear the way the vowel was versus the way it is now.
It's been gone through a big transformation.
It was always like literally we had a whiteboard with notes on it. It's like this intro or like this is terrible. Like it just there was something else that needed to be done. I like the vocals. Like he was singing really soft at the beginning, but then like halfway through the verse, he actually started pushing into his voice, which sounded so much better. I'm like, dude, we need to move that in.
Let's just start there.
Yeah, that's the intensity falls off so bad. We ended up that one's been our
But we also made the guitars more aggressive to match the more aggressive vocal
the drums because we tried
and the drums. Yeah,
we did the drum part, which changed everything.
totally revamped the verses. So
Yeah, if you've heard the
All right, so you're in there. You got the vowel. You got all four of you guys in there. You had a bass player, and you're getting things going. And I guess it was Christmas, around Christmas when you started to Joy this past 2024.
It was around fall last year, beginning of fall.
So fall, yeah.
Yeah, because he came. So Aaron left the band, and then we're like, we had a show scheduled for November 8th of 24, and I
Yeah.
was like, we're playing the show. Bass player, no bass player. Like we're just gonna have the backing track. That's gonna be the bass. It's fine. I'm not
cardboard cut out of something.
Yeah, something. We're gonna do this show without it, regardless.
It was the exact same time we were at your house getting the wood, right?
It was a similar time.
Yeah, I was right there together because you were like, "Hey, dude, I'm joining this band. I think."
Yeah.
That's what you said. Yeah, I'm joining this band. I think.
So
Andrew,
I remember that. Yeah.
And I was like,
Whatever 8 weeks before November 8th was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he only had 8 practices.
so it was 8 weeks before the first show. So you come in and boom, and then
Or not before the first show, before the November show. We'd had shows before that.
well, I mean with him.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
First show with him. Gotcha.
Yeah, his
All right, so he leaves, and then you join, and so that everybody, same band from that point in time. So who you only have one member that's not here or two?
just one.
Just one. That's right. Okay, so you got one. So you're a 4-piece band. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Cool. And then he's a guitar player too.
Yep.
Right. And he writes.
He's a magnificent writer.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And he's from Arkansas, Central Arkansas.
No, he was from Texas, Midland, out there, Odessa.
Midland, Odessa, West
Yeah.
Texas.
Like he went to the high school from Friday Night Lights.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
West Texas boys.
Sorry, he's a couple years older than I am, I do believe. And then
So is everybody in their like 40s?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're all in the midlife crisis stage.
Yep.
I'm Benjamin Button. I'm aging backwards.
Just going backwards. Yeah. I feel younger every day. My skin may not show it, my soul feels it.
I'm still going out watching shows. I'm still out there. Some mornings I don't get back till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, I mean I mean my life was opposite of that. I mean, for a long time, for my 18 years also like that, I was like in bed by 9 or 10 or 11, take care of the kids, get up, work all day, go to the sports program, do the whole thing. And kids I got one young daughter, but she's a lot easier than the rest of them, wherever. And I don't care. Y'all can't always tell you how it is. Don't care. I love them all. But so she's, we got a good support system there, so I'm able to do that. But yeah, now here I am 47 years old, you know, but I'm like staying out till 2 and 3 in the morning playing music, driving in late at night, you know, and just living it again. Ken, you know, just rekindle the whole thing, you know, same thing, same story as y'all. The exact. I just started. I just said, hey, can I do this? And I tried it. I want to record it in an album, and here we are. I'm playing, you know, 2 or 3 shows a week, you know, and have this greatness. It's awesome. It's the best feeling ever, you know. It's like just to do what you love. I love playing music. I don't drink, and but I like going to bars. You know, it gives me some opportunity to give my testimony, which was strong. You know, with my wife and I beating cancer, and the baby being born and all that stuff, and so it gives me a chance to give my testimony, and just, you know, I'm not scared to go into any place whatsoever and sing about Jesus. You know, nobody cares. You know, and I sing all kinds of songs, but you know, like, you'll be surprised how people like that. But yeah, like midlife. Not, I wouldn't call it midlife crisis. I just finally have the opportunity to get it right. Yeah. You know, you finally have the opportunity to get it right, because when you're young, you screw it all up so hard. You know, go ahead, Tam.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's just a turn of phrase, but like also, like when I did it when I was younger, I did it for all the wrong reasons.
Amen.
Right? Like the wrong motivations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hello, ladies.
Yeah.
You know,
pride, lust, envy. Yeah.
that was the reason it was going on. It wasn't, you know.
Yeah. Good time. Yeah. Trust me, I know.
So that was the whole thing, like coming back was examining the motives, which I do on everything pretty much now. It's like, why do I want to do it? I just want to write some music that I like to play, and I want to hang out with my boys, and then I want to hang out with people who may like it, may not. I've always told people, like, I don't do this so somebody will like it or dislike. Like, if you like it, that's cool. If you don't, I'm still really having a good time.
I'm still enjoying it.
Cool with it.
Our very
It doesn't mean as much. It doesn't hurt my feelings anymore.
Our first show, I almost had a panic attack because I was like, I booked it. You know, I had
You had a lot on your plate.
I did all that. I hadn't played in front of people in, you know, like I said, 18, 19 years. Last time I did it was bass, and that's a lot easier than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, you are the core of the band.
So I was like,
I don't know about that.
The drummer carries you, man. I don't care what anybody says. You got to have a good drummer.
it's so we're gonna play the show, right? And I'm literally just like the whole time just panicking. And we get done. Because I care about how many people showed up. You know, how many people would come out to support if I asked them. You see where your real friends are, type of thing. You know, like, hey, I'm doing this. I don't ask anybody really for anything. You know, would you mind coming to support this?
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, they're going to show up, you know, this and that. And all of this goes into it. And then at the end, you know, we were done. I was like, do I want to do this? Do I really want to do this? Mm-hmm. And so I sat down afterwards the following week and had that internal monologue with myself about, man, do you enjoy what you do? Yeah. Don't care what they think.
Right.
That's not why you're doing this, bro. So once I stopped caring about how many people showed up, except when I book a show. If I book a show, then it's always, you know, like I've brought bands in from out of town, put an event together, then I worry about it. But like when we go play shows, it's like, we'll do our best to
Let's
perform.
have a good time.
Pay your dues, man.
Yeah.
You got to pay your dues. I mean, I've had multiple shows in the last few weeks that there's like five people there, right? You know, but I got up there and I played my heart out.
I call that
Like
open
there's
rehearsal.
Yeah, like there's 5,000. You know, you just got to give it all, your all every time, no matter, because you don't know who's there. You don't know who that person is. You don't know what they need or don't need or why you're there, why it's all these people. You just give it your all, and then, you know, and let fate decide what happens next. You know, like
Just gonna have a good time.
Just gonna have a good
I'm gonna
time.
enjoy what I do and enjoy the time. Like I enjoy loading the gear up from the practice space.
yeah,
I enjoy riding with these guys, going with these guys to wherever we play, and enjoy the whole day of it.
it's fun. Yeah,
And then I enjoy the after.
yeah,
Yeah, the whole thing is just, it's, like I said, I'm living the life of a much younger man.
yeah. Same. So why did you choose to do it, Andrew?
Well, Justin and I used to play music together, I don't know, around 15 years ago. Maybe more, actually, because that was before you went to California.
Back in like 05, 06.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago. Wow.
And yeah, we played at Vino's. We played at some church event stuff. It had been like 12 years for me as well. And it's not that I lost interest. I just didn't have those opportunities. And, you know, I was busy with work, and I've got 3 kids too. They were needing a bass player, and I was wanting to spend more time with my bro too, and my bros. And it kind of lent that opportunity. and it's not like we're going on the road or anything like that. We play once a week and practice at home, so it was a good opportunity. I couldn't pass up.
Yeah, that's cool. So how many shows y'all played now as this unit?
5 or 6.
6, I think.
With me, it'll be our second one this month.
Yeah, I think we had 5 shows prior to Andrew.
Yeah.
And then, it'll be 2 with Andrew coming up.
Because our goal for last year was to play 6 times, and we did that. And so this year, it was more along the lines of, take the opportunities that are given. We've had some great opportunities, a couple of them this year, as far as like the one that's coming up and then the one before that. But as far as like going and being like, hey, we want to come play your venue or whatever, nothing like that, simply because we're trying to write a record. Yeah. And once a week, all the time we got together, we just have to focus on that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the main focus now, just get this record finished.
Yeah. Time flies by when you have practice and it's only an hour or two, a couple hours a week or 3 hours, whatever it is. It's just boom.
I've been practiced so much, I joined another band.
He's the Energizer bunny of the
Listen,
I love more energy. I don't know how he does it.
if they could practice 4 times a week, we practice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most bands have that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, people have lives, have to work for a living. It's the music is usually extracurricular. To make it not extracurricular is very difficult. So, we get to practice once a week, but we get to play more shows now. Sometimes we don't even practice because you just feel like you're there. You're like, I can just show up, play a show. But we've been doing it for a minute, and ready to go. But and everything was already done, So it's the biggest differences, But yeah, the opportunity to practice more is always a struggle in a band, when you got so many people with so many. So it's not just y'all four; it's all your kids and all the factories. Yeah. So many outliers, they could
Work
still be in
schedules.
there. Yeah. Well, little Johnny got sick, or fell off the dang slide today.
Got to balance it.
I will say my wife Sarah is very thrilled I have this extracurricular.
You got something to do?
Yes. She's not 100% responsible for my entertainment now.
We really owe her huge, though, because she's opened her house up for us to have practice.
Oh, yeah. So y'all been practicing? Yes.
Yeah.
My garage is called.
Now from a word from our co-sponsor, Red's Tree Service. Hey there, Central Arkansas. Tired of that unsightly dead tree in your yard? You're not alone. Give us a shout for a free quote. We're your friendly, knowledgeable team, here to guide you on all things tree care. We're licensed, insured, and have been enhancing the beauty of your community since 1976. With decades of experience and the best equipment, no job is too big or small for us. And here's a special thanks to our veterans. Get 10% off any quote. Call us today at 501-516-4204 for pristine tree care that stood the test of time. Red's Tree Service.
It's called River.
Shout out Sharon, Sarah. Yeah.
Like there's lights, everything you would see with us on stage, like all the lighting design I do, all that stuff is in the garage. So when we rehearse, it's
like you're playing.
It's like dress rehearsal. Yeah. It's like, hey, bring the energy to the rehearsal that you're going to bring to the
Turn
show.
up the lights, turn on the smoke.
Yep.
Other than volume, it's full on.
Everything's in ears.
Yeah, last video we dropped was filmed in his garage.
You can see my freezer in the back.
Heck yeah, we got the cool lights though.
And then we did the version that has my daughter coming in, obviously, 15-year-old to make fun of us.
Did you see that one?
I don't know if I've seen it yet, but I'm going to watch it now.
So it was a stupid idea came to my head. I forget I was talking to Kurt once he does all of our photography type work. And so about Kurt, thank you God. Matter of fact, if you need a guy for anything like that, photography, video, he's amazing. He works at the Hall, Vino's, anywhere you can think. Like Kurt Lunsford photography, look at his pictures. It's insane. Like there's a picture he's got of Justin. You cannot tell me he's not singing in front of like 500,000 people. It is the most iconic upshot with a stream of light coming down. It's wonderful.
Yeah, he's got a really good eye.
And
Awesome live music.
so he came out and we had this idea when he was driving. I was talking to him. I was like, man, what if my daughter came in and made fun of us? We're in the garage. All the lights are on or whatever. So we're playing this song, and he's videoing it. Lights are going crazy. Everybody's performing. And then in the song, there's a break. It's like a snare break. It almost sounds like a shotgun. And then it breaks for like a beat and then comes back in really heavy. Like it's the screaming part of the song.
Yep. Yeah.
So at that break, the lights come on. My 15-year-old walks out and be like, "Oh, Dad, your little band friends are here." Because my wife says that to me to bust my chops.
Yeah.
And so she comes out and she's like, pats my head. "It's okay. You'll make it one day, little buddy." And then she walks out and we all are Princess Bride. And so she's like, "Have fun storming the castle." And then, they're all looking at me like, "Dude, like, what the heck?" And then I'm like, "I don't know, guys." And then I hit the snare and the song comes back super heavy again, like it doing this.
Nice. I'll check that out. But where is that one uploaded to?
I thought it was on YouTube. Is that right? I don't know.
I have the regular version on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Hey,
Maybe on our TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
None of us look at it.
The one video we got on TikTok. It's just not my speed, man.
I'll put it on YouTube though. Send it over to me.
Yeah, I got it. It was pretty funny. I get all kinds of crazy ideas as far as we could do for videos that would be hilarious. Wouldn't match the music at all, but it'd be funny.
Right. So you're working on the album, and your goal was to play 6 shows a year last year. What are you going to play this year, you think?
We got the one this month coming up.
What is it? What is your next show?
28th.
Yeah, June 28th at Full Moon Records in Conway.
June 28th, Full Moon Records in Conway.
It's my absolute favorite Central Arkansas venue. That's a, small.
Is it a Russ-oriented venue?
Did they this Saturday they're having High Ping, which is jazz.
Sweet.
Everything but I think
Versatile, yeah.
yeah, everything but rap and country. And that's because country, you've got Kings right down the street. And you play there?
I played Kings.
Yeah. TC, that's my brother-in-law.
Real behind the street.
Oh, yeah. Cool. And then TC's down Oak Street, you're going to get your country and your cover fix type of stuff there. I didn't play TC's. And then, but like indie rock, indie pop, jazz, heavy metal, regular rock and roll.
Well, how do you feel about, sorry, I mean to interrupt you with this question. I mean, well, how do you feel about the scene? The rock scene, the metal scene, and little rock around Arkansas?
You gotta sell, dude.
Just saying, yeah, I want to hear it. Like, yeah,
Taggart's he goes to all the shows.
I
try to get us to go to shows.
I wish there were more places to play.
I try to talk them into like, hey, come out to the show. This is going to be a really good one. Like I threw a show with Enigma from Dallas, and if they're not world famous in 5 years playing stadiums, there is no justice in music. They are the most intense live show I've ever seen, and I've seen Brado and Spitfire on stage while playing what I call math metal, like Dillinger Escape Point.
Yep.
They are fantastic songwriters. They grew up in like a soul type background. So like you'll be like, "Oh, I know what's coming in this song next." Nope, gospel choir is coming next. And this is heavy music. And you're like, how does this happen? Anyway,
Really unique.
Yeah, I think I did hear that. Somebody said that to me, like, you got to check this out. These dudes are all over the place.
like jump off the stage, like going absolutely bananas. But Vino's is Vino's. It needs some love. The venue itself needs some love. I've seen some really good shows there. Crashcast does a cover show every Halloween. So you'll get a band like Just Scott Elliott band. Well, you're not going to be Just Scott Elliott today. You're going to be Dirk Bentley. And you are going to you are going to sing all his songs as best as you can as your costume.
That's funny.
Like last year, I think Diet Sweets did Alice in Chains, and they did an Alice in Chains set. And they played it fantastic. I was worried about that one.
No, that's cool. Who was Diet Sweets?
That's the other band. I'll say it wasn't me. I was with the drummer at the time, but no, they do a really good job at that. But the Rev Room is going away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's squeeze in the last shows now.
I'm going December 2nd. Another last. No, I'm not going there December 2nd. I'm going to Hall for Whitechapel on December 2nd.
So how many venues is there for an up-and-coming rock? Can I call you a rock band?
Anyway, so
It's rock band. Yeah, okay.
let's just talk venues in general.
You're like, what? How many is there really out there
Stickies,
for metal bands?
you can play hard rock at Stickies. You got
Whitewater Tavern.
Whitewater Tavern. You got Rev Room. You got Vino's. If you're really good and you got some pull, you can pull the hall, which that's an amazing venue. I'm not sitting on the mezzanine, enjoying myself.
All the August or under
Yes, no, it's such a good venue. I saw Seven Dust when they came through. It was
so good.
so good. And then so you got Full Moon in Conway. You've got we played at a place called Hard Riders in Cabot.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Hard.
Yeah. And then I don't know about like places like there's a lot of bands where you can like cover bands can kind of go in, but as far as just all original, it's a little different. I don't.
So I mean, you probably would start
Brookstock in Dover.
in Dover. So Central Arkansas, as a hard rock band, you maybe got 7 or 8 venues that you could play at when you play your original stuff and book with people and
Yeah, but that's the whole thing is like the philosophy that I have is, and one reason why it's like we play 6 shows this year. That's great. That's all I want to do, unless we're going to Memphis, going to Fayetteville, Fort Smith.
Yeah, but that's good. Are you going to go to JJ's or are you going to go to the region? That's
That's the thing. So it's like, to me, like your show should be an event, right? Mm-hmm. Like it should be an actual event. You should sell it like it's an event.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be a wild time. We're going to have it, so it was going to be, balls to the wall, whatever. It's going to be great. Whereas if you play Central Arkansas at these 7 venues twice a month, why would I want to, unless I'm your
But it's only going to take you 6 months to go all, or 4 months to go through all 8 of them, like you're playing each one. Yeah. So you have a turnaround on the same venue. So then you don't have any choice but to travel.
Yeah.
To go to Dallas, to go to Nashville. You can get away with some hard rock in Nashville. You can go, Memphis. You can get away with it there. I mean, I guess you could probably get some New Orleans stuff.
You got Iron Horse Records and Van Buren. They those shows, heavy shows. They're great. You've got George's,
Majestic.
Yep, and there's another venue in Fort Smith as well. I can't remember the name of it. And then George's, and then you got the Nomads venues in Fayetteville.
Yeah, Trailside, Nomads.
Trailside, Southtown.
Yeah, we did Trailside. We did Trailside. We did a little run. We did. We played Nomads Trailside. It was a nice little cool spot.
Yeah, and if you want to, and that's
good wings.
That's my goal with it is to like, okay, let's play a show. Get to the point where we play a show a month, and we only play Central Arkansas 4 times a year.
Well, if you hit all 8 of them, then you could cover 8 months. You should play one show a month. You hit all 8 of them, then you could. That's a longer turnaround than than playing there once every 5 months or whatever. I don't know. My philosophy is a little. There's a lot more places to play country. We're in the South, so I mean, I fought that battle before, but that's just the way it is. But I could probably spend. I could wear it out. But I'll travel. We'll go. Like we played in the middle of nowhere at a rodeo. Like I'm talking about the middle of nowhere. But there was 1,000 people out there, I mean, it's like chase the rodeo. So there's festival stuff y'all should probably do too. Yeah, y'all can do festival stuff.
Yeah, Knobstock just happened. Yeah, Bald Knob. Mm-hmm. There's been a couple of others, and we just haven't really.
What about Battle of the Bands? Y'all ever do any Battle of the Bands?
I'm not into those.
Not really too.
I can sit home and be a winner, and I can go to your Battle of the Bands and be a loser.
I'll pick whatever 14-year-old band to 14-year-old kid band to beat us. That's
yeah. We got probably like you play one. We got smoked about like these dudes in their like early 20s, and they were playing like Pump Sky covers and stuff like that. They were so good. It was like a repeats. We're working on this stuff forever. We go up there. We feel like everybody was happy with it. We rocked out, and these cats just got up there and just killed it. You're like,
it's Fidelity on a whole nother level because where we were at when we were kids learning stuff, you were learning like say Rage Against the Machine bass line. Well, that's not all that difficult. Unless you're playing Primus or something really crazy or like I listen to. Yeah.
If you're playing chord and 2 strings,
But now look at like people like El Stapario. Like the drummer, the Spanish dude with a beard or whatever. Like, dude, who knew that you could actually play that fast? Yeah. And now there's kids that are like, I can do that.
There's a guy that's actually into it. Yeah.
16. Now, here's the other thing, though. I can only listen to him for about 30 seconds. But like, yeah, I don't. There's no soul to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess my favorite thing he does is when he plays over the top of the songs and he just takes the level of the song up.
He's drinking this guy.
Yeah, it sounds twice as good as the original. It's like, it's crazy. Crazy. So what was so let's talk about influences growing up. What was your influences growing up, Andrew?
Man, I had a pretty wild mix of influences. I grew up in a Christian home, going to church, grew up on gospel music, and I didn't really start listening to, more harder rock, some metal until like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. And that was kind of in that tooth and nail solid state
That's my fault.
era, really.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, like, I started listening to Thrice and Emery and Blindside and those types of bands. Yeah, but good stuff. And now, like, I try to listen to as much as I can fit in just to get a variety. But to be honest, I don't have a lot of time to listen to music. But, I try to listen whenever I'm in the car.
Yeah. So you missed out on that whole early punk phase.
I did, yeah.
Did you revisit it?
No, I never really got into much punk music. Yeah, gotcha. It was more of the post-hardcore, thrash, post-hardcore. Yeah.
Based on his play.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And so, what was your influence?
Oh man, as a kid, I was like all about Michael Jackson. My mom, always in West Monroe, the station was FM 102, and it was like all the pop stuff. So I grew up on pop, anything pop. New Kids on the Block. I saw them live. Shout out New Kids. Yeah. No, I mean this is way back.
No, I mean back then that's all you had. You're just a kid. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I was 8 years old. Yeah,
You can't even. You're not even in control of your own life at that point in time. You can't be held accountable for seeing. I just can't say it's silly guy too, man. Well, you wanted to go see him? All right. So your sister wasn't dragging you along?
that's the embarrassing thing about it.
You were hanging tough, weren't you?
It's they to the right stuff.
Yes. No. All right, let's talk about.
So what was it? What else influenced you? How did you get to metal, singing, writing?
All right, man. Just, high school hit, and I was all about, alternative rock, Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, the grunge era. Grew up in the 90s. So, yeah, Soundgarden, Nirvana, Weezer. And I started playing in bands in high school. I did from 10th, or actually in 8th grade, I got a bass guitar. And my best friend invited me over, and we kind of started a little band in 8th grade, and that went all the way through high school. He and I, and just the grunge scene, all that indie rock, was big into Radiohead. So just listen to whatever I could. He would come tell me about different bands to listen to, and I would listen to them, and then the whole rap rock scene came along. Limp Bizkit, new metal, the Korn, got into that. Incubus, and then it was just from junior high all through high school, just playing in bands.
Did you listen to what album of Incubus did you start?
Science was my introduction to Incubus, and then I immediately bought all their, everything. At the little EP they had. I can't remember the name of that. Yeah, might have just been the Fungus Among Us. Yeah.
Incubus was one of my great.
And Brandon Boyd's a huge influence on that vocal style too. And and then Morrissey got into. I really like the Smiths. I like a lot of those new wave bands.
You guys have a huge underground following, serious underground following. I didn't really learn about them. I don't, the music's so wide, you hit and miss on stuff. Some people could be, and so I didn't really learn about the Smiths until later on in life. It was kind of wild why I missed it, but I did.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're awesome. And then moving up to Arkansas after high school, I talked Andrew into joining a band with me. That actually was prior to that. I was playing with Tatter.
Yeah.
Y'all were before. Yeah, we
From a newspaper ad, bro.
from the newspaper ad.
From a band I was with looking for a singer, and he had an ad in the classifieds. Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
They're out there in black and white. I moved here. I didn't know any musicians at all, so I'm like, just gonna put an ad out. Why not?
Like, that was a surprise for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So y'all started together, and then you put an ad in the paper trying to find some other
Trying
songs?
to, yeah, just wanted to start playing music because that's all I did through high school, and then I was fresh out of, well, kind of fresh out. I moved here a year after I graduated high school, so a couple of years after living here, I was like, oh,
So y'all were pretty serious
band.
before you married his sister.
No. Well, yeah. Well, before, yeah, I was dating her when.
Y'all became friends. Got you. So that's the connection.
yes, I was nice, little sweethearts. And
Yeah, she was 15 when we met.
Got you.
How old were you? I'm serious. I just want to clarify it for the camera. Like,
I think I was 16.
Yeah, if it has. He was on the 16.
Ever since I've known Justin, though, he's always been writing songs, writing music,
yeah,
poetry, whatever.
It's been who you are.
Yeah, Jeff. Ever since I was a kid.
Start with poetry.
I dabble a little bit.
Yeah, did it start with poetry or did it start with writing songs?
I say poetry loosely because you're very poetic. You're a poetic person.
I think it was kind of began, honestly, when I was a kid, just writing rap songs, to be honest.
Yeah. You know, you heard a rap, and you're like, oh, you know what? I can do that.
Vanilla Ice is my inspiration. I'm just going to lay it all out.
Did you buy some metal album?
Vanilla Ice.
What's that? Did you buy the metal album?
I did not. I was kind of little bit of Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, about that. So yeah, well, that's cool. So influenced by basically mainstream. You're basically influenced by mainstream.
Very pop. Yeah, pop, real pop, and then all into the alternative scene and just grunge, and then from there introduced to metal, and it just my taste just got heavier, heavier.
What was your first metal band that you ever fell in love? What's your first metal song you can remember hearing?
That's a good one. Probably Deftones is probably like the hardest my introduction to more metal.
Light Mountain Summer.
Yeah. I think like show I saw. I think the Matrix soundtrack had Mindless Summer on it.
Yep.
I was like, this is awesome. And I had bought all their records.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
cool Deftones.
I mean, White Pony was just like, dang. Yeah, I was up on the Grace. I was there. Yeah, that's cool. So when everybody watches this podcast and then they go find your music, the things you talk about, hopefully they can hear the influence of those things. And
Yeah.
that's what I kind of put those things together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. All my influences I can see come out for sure. Like, but I try to put my own stamp on it, my own flair. But yeah, you can't help it but have your influences come out. Even I'm sure in Tagger's drumming, I'm sure you have several influences.
Sure, as he already said.
No, I can tell you in the vow, listen to this part, listen to this part, this and this part. This is what was going on in my head when I was writing. I can tell you exactly where I drew from.
Tell us about Tagger. How'd it start?
All right.
How'd it start? Why is Tagger, and what music influenced you to get there?
My mom's is from Chicago.
Nice.
My dad's from backwoods, Arkansas.
Whoa.
Yeah. How that happened, she moved down here to Conway. He went to Pulaski Oak Grove, and she didn't even like her when they first met. And then they ended up getting married very young, and so very musical home, okay?
Yeah.
My grandmother taught herself like 4 or 5 different instruments. All my uncles on my mom's side did the same thing.
So you had huge musical influence in your family.
Yeah, but for me, I grew up, I tell people, Hank Williams Sr. to Parliament. Yes. All right? I've seen my Ohio Clares live.
Nice.
I love it. All that old funk stuff. Yes, it's what it is. I get to sit down and play what I want. I'm gonna put on the Brothers Johnson, Ain't We Funkin' Now, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
That's why I was up here, funk bass player, because that's what spoke to me.
Yeah.
But
Lot to do there.
they had a big record collection, so I listened to like Cheech and Chong's first record.
Yes.
Like Dave's Not Here. You miss me there. You don't, man. Dave's not here, man. So all of that, Led Zeppelin. I was the only kid I knew that had a Led Zeppelin shirt. I got in trouble for it at school because it was the swan song with the angel with no anatomical stuff.
Yeah.
But they still had a problem with that at school for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, man, my buddies were into music. They were into heavier stuff. So it's like, okay, but I liked rap. That was my first love was rap. Cypress Hill. As a matter of fact, Black Sunday.
Yes.
I don't understand. I was like, dude, and I could do his voice. Mm-hmm. So I started rapping, right? Mm-hmm. And then, well, that changed into what? Rage Against the Machine, because he has similar style voice. So I did do that Rage Against the Machine stuff back when the first record came out.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that. So I started like rapping, like rap rock, whatever you want to call it, for a band called Martyr. And then I heard Alice in Chains Wood, the bass line. I was like, sick song right there. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so good. So from them, it was just a descent into heavy.
Yeah.
Like, what is the absolute most monstrous thing I can listen to that will drive any other human crazy? And so I went into that. So I was like really into like Neurosis and 9 Inch Nails, like Downward Spiral, but like their heavier songs on there, like March of the Pigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then somebody turned me on to Living Sacrifice,
Yep.
the Inhabit album.
Yep.
Game over.
Yep. Arkansas Little Rock legends.
So
Royalty.
that
Not royalty.
the sweetest bunch of guys that you ever gonna meet.
Great Christian dudes, man. They're just nice guys.
So, and Living Sacrifice opened up a door to like Circle of Dust, and then all the two.
Circle of Dust. I have not heard that.
Yeah.
I ain't time.
Yeah, that's what kind of got me off the 9 Inch Nails kick and started listening to more positive based music.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to hear about that.
Now I got to remember to put that on my play. I'm doing it right now. Keep talking.
I don't even know if like
I gotta. You just triggered them hard memory for me, bro. That's awesome.
so like because I was super into Neurosis, and they
Yeah.
are not necessarily role models.
No, they weren't at all.
But I love her drums.
That's some pretty harsh stuff.
I love the drums, and their live show was insane, and so went down the Living Sacrifice rabbit hole, and then turns out they're the nicest people maybe I've ever met, except for like maybe Andrew. And so I
Pretty darn nice.
actually when I started like, hey, I want to play bass, I went and talked to Chris Truby, who was the bass player for Living Sacrifice during the Reborn album.
Yes.
And he gave me my I don't know, 6 bass lessons I ever got. So I was like, dude, if I can play Liar, I think I'll be all right. So he taught me Liar, and that song's like, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I learned that when I felt I graduated. And then I got to be buddies with Lance. And then Chris and Jason left, and I took a few guitar lessons from Jason. That dude is a whole. He's a special human being. He's a host. Yeah, what he can do and what he can hear is ridiculous.
This are riff lords.
Well, I went to his house for a lesson, and that was the day that what was it? The Tool song came out.
Yep.
And he's playing the thing, and I'm like, that just came out the day. He's like, yeah, I heard it, and he could hear a song and play the song. Like it didn't matter what
After to a year.
Yeah, he would be like, oh, I'm going to hear my leaf blower to a third. What's your leaf blower doing? You know, kind of crazy stuff. And then got to be buddies with Lance Garvin, and Lance and I played in the band together. That was my last musical thing, was Heroes Among Thieves. You can still find some footage that was on VTN Carbonated
I was at that show.
of my little swoopy blonde hair, jumping off the stage, running crazy, all of that stuff. You can find it on YouTube, but since that Dungeons and Dragons movie came out, it's a little bit harder to find. But there's a young brunette girl, like singing, and that's how I remember. Oh, yeah, that was the one.
I think I still have the LCD.
There's a BVS, you know.
That's real cool.
So I did that, and got to play with Lance, and like I said, swoop.
First time I heard of Living Sacrifice, which we're talking about Living Sacrifice. I was 19 years old, and I worked at New York Bagel on Markland. Really? Man. And DJ worked there.
That was in Habit's days, non-existent, and then the first one.
Yeah. Well, DJ worked there and that. So I was like, I met him. I'm like, here, So he's like, yeah, I'm the lead singer for Living Sacrifice. I was like, okay.
It means nothing to me.
It didn't at the time, but then I went, next thing you know, we got all these vegan straight edge kids rolling in here for, locks and, well, actually they weren't eating the locks, they ain't fish, but they were eating the, all the other stuff. So this is soy-free, dairy-free, everything. But yeah, then I started listening to them. So that was the first time that I really understood. And I started digging into Little Rock, and everything it had to offer, and all these different bands. And the scene was in like '96, the scene was pretty pretty heavy. I mean, it was there was lots going on. There was lots of bands, and
you had so with Sacrifice, they paid all the tooth and nail stuff you heard. Zayo, if you heard of Zayo, where Blood and Fire Bring Ring. All of that stuff was recorded at Pointers in Little Rock. Tooth and Nail had a contract with him apparently. So you would get these bands coming to record, and then they play like Vino's. So we got to see all of that solid state Tooth and Nail stuff came straight through. But no, so like it back to influence.
that was good. That was a good time period.
It was
Really awesome.
and you were also in a positive environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were
Like nobody was gonna
message. Yeah,
nobody's gonna break a bottle and stab you with it at a concert. No, what I mean, it's up in it. It'll get rough, and that's fine.
yeah,
Kind of have to reason while you're there, but
yeah. There's never have some tweaker get on everybody's iron.
nobody's trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah,
So into that, Living Sacrifice got me into all that tooth and nail heavy stuff, and it was pretty much exclusively. I didn't listen to secular music for quite a while until he got me listening to Thrice. And then, if I had to pick a favorite band now, I'd probably have to say their total catalog. You can't beat Thrice because you're never going to get bored. It's always going to be something, and
They evolved so much over the years, starting out almost punk and then to what they are now.
masterful musicians.
yes, yes.
No, Fred, really gauge it out.
The Beggars album is my favorite though.
Yeah.
which is surprising because it's probably
I was thinking a long way about the Alchemy Index when it came out.
yeah.
Just how they did all the elements, and you can visualize fire, air, earth.
Yeah.
Just
If you haven't had a chance, listen to the Alchemy Index and like Earth. Sounds like Salt of the Earth music and like song things like Moving Mountains. Like an old like upright pianos parts on it that are like. But like you listen to Water, and I'm like, yeah, this is Water.
Digital Z. Yeah, you're good. I don't get
It's a whaler, and it's like the music flows. And then Fire.
Oh yeah,
It's got some bangers.
That's cool.
Burn the Flea.
I don't think I've heard that album. I'll check it out. Yeah, sure.
It's 4 EPs. Wow. 4 EPs. It's
Those albums.
yeah. It's there was
the one time they did a concept album. Is really it's great, phenomenal record, so good.
So EPs, 4 EPs. Now that was 4 EPs. Gotcha.
yeah.
That's cool.
So like now, like the Vow, you listen to the Vow, you're gonna hear a little bit of Neurosis Through Silver and Blood on a part. You're gonna hear some Gojira. That part that specifically it's not the same. And like I listened to it to make sure because I was like, dude, I ain't trying to rip that off. And then I was like, no, it wasn't. But that's the influence that got me to do the.
Yeah.
And then you're going to hear some Winning Sacrifice at the end, 100%. There's a plan to get Lance to come on and do auxiliary percussion on the real record of it. And that'd be a lot of fun.
It sounds really cool. Yeah, it sounds really cool. But nice to have some rock royalty around, you know what I mean? Like, it's always good to have people that are experiencing, got that, been there, done that kind of thing. And to send him with you, that's good, right? Good publicity too, and just fun because you're a friend,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really cool.
That's the whole thing about it is like making music or be friends is that's what I'm into, right?
Something tangible you can look back on and be like, man, that was a good time in life. Right?
Yeah.
To create. That's right, my buddies.
Yeah, of course.
So like the actual record is going to have some features on it. We've talked about. I'm not going to name names on who we're featuring because I want that to be a surprise. But the whole point of it is you're going to make these songs with your friends. Like he has totally different vocal style than what he has, and it's going to mesh. It's going to be fantastic with that specific song.
So look for some surprises on the album.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So when we do the release show, we're going to play the album in its entirety, and the rules is like, hey, if you come on this feature, just know when we release this record, you're going to do it live.
Be there, baby. Gotta be there.
So every song, if it's got a guest, that guest is going to come up and do it live. And then it's a party.
Cool. That's fun.
Yeah, you got all your friends, their friends, and it's just like, let's just have a good time, man.
Gotcha. So what all do y'all, so you're on every streaming platform, all of them, so y'all can find OnceErased on every streaming platform. What do you have for sale right now? You got merch, and then you have an EP that's for sale. Where can everybody find your merch to purchase it and your music?
Right now, it's on the website. Some of the merch we have here on the table. We don't have the EP, CD, disc, the CD yet on the website. We'll have it at the show.
They can buy it on Apple.
Yeah, definitely. And then
you know,
You can buy it if you can buy it. You know, it's streaming. You know, I don't know how we all feel about
Stream
streaming.
it on YouTube, which where you make the most money.
Yeah. So
We just so we did have the EP, and then we had this really cool hat right here, Once Erased. You know, so what does the band name? What's it mean? You knew that was coming eventually.
That goes back, doesn't it?
That was way back.
20 years.
yeah,
At least.
we were talking about band names, right? And I was thinking like,
I spent 2 weeks trying to come up with a band name.
and it was just something that was over good.
Yeah.
And then I got on the trip of like, do what Godsmack did. They took an Alice in Chains song.
That's right.
And that's how they got their names. I started thinking of that kind of stuff. And so did you say it or did I say it?
I think I had just, for some reason, an old song that I had written that we played in Dark Save the Star way back in the day, old band, but Andrew and I was in, it was called, I wrote a song called Once Erased, and it just popped in my mind, like, that might be kind of a cool head
And I still had the cassette demo from 20 years ago. Still had it.
Did you have the cassette player to listen to?
I had the Walkman I've saved.
Did you listen to it? No, that's so cool.
It's like,
We had a cassette.
and that's his style. What he was writing back then, a lot of it was like it was going to do something unexpected. So it was like a dun, 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 dun,
Real bright
dun,
intro.
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then we go back to the bright, smooth stuff. And I always thought that I'd never really heard anybody write that way.
What was the song about, Once Erased?
Oh, man, I have to think about that. What was that song? I think it was more just kind of, I gotta remember the lyrics. Felt this emotion before your face. Yeah, I think it's just about kind of dying to the old man. Yeah. And, once you become erased, and then you can walk in the newness of life, kind of thing.
So that's kind of what I felt. Like when I heard the band name and listened to some music, you know, and I'm just thinking about like, well, you know, I like meaning behind things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's all you got lyrics. Yeah. So you're like, once you reach this point in life, and all this other stuff is erased out of your life that you thought was important, that you don't think that you know is not important. You don't think you know is not important anymore.
Yeah.
Once you've erased all that out of your life, then you are free to be
Precisely. Yeah.
correct and creative in the right ways, you know, and so that's how I thought about it. I think that kind of that the meaning of that song and what you just described translates perfectly kind of where we're at now as a band. right. Kind of makes sense.
It was passion that had once been erased.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because once you once.
So what you're saying? So you're saying it was once erased. At one point in time, this was erased out of my life, and now it's back. It's rewritten
In fullness.
in fullness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not an eraser around.
Yeah. Well, the logo is fading at the end of it. But yeah, so that to me is it was a passion that I thought, dude, I didn't go to shows. I didn't go to a concert. I didn't do anything involved in music because I couldn't play music. Why would I go to watch something?
Right.
Not that I didn't want to support because that's not it. Like I'd go to LS shows.
Well, you get busy like the kids at work, and it's over, man. Like,
Well, even it break my heart because I don't get to do that anymore, right?
right. Okay. So
yeah, so it's
you
like-
want to see it and be a part because you wanted to do it, and because you couldn't do it, then you're like, I can't do this.
So I disappeared,
Yeah.
gone. I'd go to.
People open you back with open arms when you came back.
I have made such a huge group of friends since I've been back, and these aren't the guys from back in the day necessarily either. Like,
It's the next gen.
no. Well, Corey Fisher, who does the Crash Cast podcast, right? Mm-hmm. We always like, how on earth did we not know each other? Same circle, same friends, but never had met him before, and had gone back into it, and was like, man, I love this guy. He and I just took a trip to Memphis weekend ago to the Memphis Drum Shop, which if you hadn't been, go to the Memphis Drum Shop.
No.
It is the coolest place on the planet. Sweet. And they got an exact replica of Ringo Starr's Beatles kit that he brought over. Yeah, it's great. And Robinson, who works there, was so helpful. You could literally, a room this big, probably twice this big, and you've got cymbals floor to ceiling, and they will pull everything out for you and set it on there. Customer service second to none. Such a cool. Channel's
Plug them out. Yeah. Hey, yes. Plug them up. Well, is there anything else you guys want to point out? Do you want to talk about the band? Is there anything high notes, low notes, or anything that you want to remind everybody that's watching the podcast what's coming up for you, or where to get your merch, or anything? Whatever you want to say as we come down to a close this thing.
I think we're just kind of in the beginning of our journey, really. We're just kind of just getting started, and we're excited about the future. And booking more shows and finishing up this record that we're working on. So I think that's where I'm at. I feel like we're just only beginning, and I think we played together long enough to have a direction of our style and the chemistry to kind of to tighten things, for us to get tighter and everything. So I think we're at a point now where it's like, all right, it's that launching point. So
At the launching point.
yeah.
I'd say come to Full Moon Records. We're opening, which is a thing with us. We don't like to do anything but open. It's just, it's great. I love it. I love being open. I great. Take my time, set all the stuff up, set all the lights up. It's a heck of a show. I mean, the lights, the fog, they're designed for our music, so they're breaks, and it literally. I'll show you a video after we're done.
You sent me the video of the last show. You had some footage, a little bit. Yep, the first one, you sent me some footage. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, so all these lights come.
So that's what day? So
This is Saturday, June 28th. Doors at 7, music at 8. I think it's $10 or $15, which is nothing. I mean, to see, and there's 4 bands. It's us.
Yeah.
The Espionage Act, who won Live Show of the Year last year at the Crashcast Awards. So they're unreal. They're so good. That's some jumping off the stage into the crowd while you're playing guitar type stuff. It's it's pop punk, but it's so good.
Higher and water.
Yeah, and a couple of bands from Dallas, are kind of pop punky as well, and that's gonna be a heavy show. And then the 27th is when we're supposed to be releasing All You Really Need to all the streaming platforms. So
everybody out there, check out your show, and then go in. Are you gonna be able to pre-save the song?
I'll leave that to Michael Riddle.
Okay, we've got all right. So if you can't, at least look for the release.
Yeah.
And then go and add Once Erased to your playlist.
Yeah.
Like the songs, add it to your playlist, please, on every streaming platform that you have, especially YouTube. Yeah.
And then follow the socials: Facebook, Instagram. There's a not very active TikTok. We're working on that one.
Yeah. But all socials, website.
Yeah, there's a website.
What is that? OnceErased.com.
Nice. OnceErased.com.
Yeah.
So you find everything there, right?
Yeah.
You go everything we talked about. You got your show dates, you got your merch, you got your release coming up, you got they can see. You have your EPK there, or some kind of digital stuff there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And so if there's any promoters out there that may see this, that you guys are ready to start booking more.
Yeah, and we play for free.
Yeah.
I mean,
For now. For now.
Maybe ever. I don't care about it.
Right. Right. Understand? Yeah, I'll come in the same boat. I'm like, I don't want to charge anybody. Right now. If I get paid to play a show, which I do have some shows that pay, and that's great. I love it. We're super grateful. We usually take it, put it back into what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I do? I take the money and say a touring band's playing. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's $150, but
That's
much. That's how they eat.
That's tough. Yeah, so everybody.
If you're an out of town band, yeah, I'm giving you our cut.
There's stuff.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's super cool.
And then one more, I got to do a shout out to Austin Sutliff.
Oh yeah.
Listen, if you need mix, master, producing, help writing, any studio services, or just a brilliant mind for music,
Oh yeah.
like if I could send you what we sent him for the bow, and then you could listen to what is currently on there, you're gonna be like, whoa, dude. Because it was supposed to be a demo.
Brought to life. Yeah.
I played that drum thing in one, I was like, oh, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna make this demo so we can communicate the idea to Austin and he can see if we need to change anything or whatever, producer stuff. So I sit down and I play it once through and I'm like, I think I got a better take than that. Played it again. I was like, maybe I can do better. Played it again, and that third one was like, it's a demo, I'm tired of this. Send. That's on the record. Like it was recorded in my garage. It's awesome. And
They're really good.
he is magnificent. He plays guitar for Wake. He is the brain behind Coach Light, which is, in my opinion, probably, for my taste, top 3 local band.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, they are there. Everybody should check those out. So, The main thing going out of this thing is that we want to get you guys the attention that you deserve. And, you know, I love your music. I really do. I got it on the playlist. It pops up. I listen to it. It's really cool. Great voice, man. Appreciate great writing, great guitar, great bass lines. You know, I just wish you guys all the best of luck, that you find all your dreams, you know, and if they're not dreams, and appease your spirit. You know, I think a lot of this is what it is. We're just, you know, we got it in us. It's got to come out of us sometime, you know. So it's like, maybe we can do a country metal mix up sometime. You know what I mean? Mash up. That's kind of some people are doing those kind of things these days. All right. Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna wrap this thing up. Is there anything else you go tell them?
Man, just go to Levi Lana Barber Company.
Yeah. Let me cut your hair. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say I don't know if you remember or not, but I did come get my beard trim at your place by the guy that has a chair across from me. Mike.
Yeah, Mike just actually retired.
Yeah. He said he was on his way up.
Yeah, he retired as of last week. So
Yeah. Which I sit there and I listened to you talk to one of your customers, and you were the nicest guy to that guy. I just remember like you knew him, you knew everything about his family, you know, so it's a personable place.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Any other plugs for what you do, or what anything you do, Andrew? That you
If you spill a large amount of petroleum chemicals in water and you need environmental services, come talk.
If you need any app or web development, you can see me.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, that's something that might be able to get some jets out of Ryan and do some subway for him. Yeah. You can holler at him about it. Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for watching the podcast today. And this is OnceErased, and we'll see y'all down the road. All right.